Are we aligned in our investing outlook? Are we aligned in our investing philosophies? Are we aligned in terms of how we look at wealth? My philosophy that I'm going to be sharing with you today briefly, and then I get, again, asked about a lot, has to do with this acronym right here, this acronym. And the acronym is the T.R.A.I.N acronym, T.R.A.I.N, 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 the T.R.A.I.N Multifamily Investment Philosophy. And so what I'm going to be doing right now is I'm going to be going over each part of this 5-pronged T.R.A.I.N multifamily philosophy with you to give you an idea how I look at the world of multifamily ownership, investing, operating philosophically, and how a lot of my other partners are aligned with me in terms of this philosophy. And alignment is something we're going to continue to spend some time talking about. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's talk about T. T in the T.R.A.I.N multifamily investing philosophy. And the T stands for a simple word, time. Look, when it comes to multifamily investing, it is not a space to do 3 words, get rich quick. This is not a get rich quick scheme. This is not a get rich quick plan. This is not flipping real estate. This is wealth in apartments built over time. So long story short, guys, if you want to build wealth, you better be thinking you're going to be spending some time in it to build it. And if you really look at some of the most wealthiest people in today's world, 90+% of their wealth was built over what? It was built over time. They started with this and it got to this. Wealth is built over time. Okay. And if you're not into that, you're not into investing for years, you're not into being involved in owning a property for years, frankly, multifamily investing isn't for you. This is a wealth built over time kind of philosophy that I, of course, have, but I think it's central to getting wealthy in multifamily ownership and investing. Okay. All right. Time. All right. That's the T. Let's go into the R. Risk. All right, so we got time and we've got risk. Now look, if I were to say to you, name 5 investments off the top of your head that you think could give me a better return than multifamily investing, you probably could do that pretty quickly. You could probably come up with 5 pretty quick ones. But my question for you then after that would be, well, what's the risk level with those investments? What kind of risk are you looking at? Okay, and so what you find out there is you find there are a lot of investments out there. And if you're chasing return, multifamily investing and multifamily ownership probably isn't for you. Now look, does that mean that multifamily investing and ownership provides, subpar returns or poor returns? Of course not. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. But if you are what I call a return chaser, and you're not aligned with the time part of this, and there's a reason why all of these follow each other in this sequence, then you are wanting far too much risk in your investment world, in my opinion, and there's no room philosophically in the T.R.A.I.N way of owning and investing apartments for a lot of risk. Now look, all investing has risk. We know that. Okay, but if you are a return chaser, returns that are transparent, pretty predictable, returns that you can kind of forecast pretty easily when it comes to multifamily ownership and investing, if that isn't for you, then maybe you don't want that 9, 10, 14, 15% return on your money. If you think, dude, that's I'm not even going to go there. I need like 30%. I need like 50%. Well, then look, multifamily is not a place for you. Because of what? Risk. We want time and we want lower risk to achieve above average and unconventional returns, not return chasing crazy kind of returns. Okay? All right. So risk plays a huge part of it. And here's one of the most, maybe arguably the most important parts of the T.R.A.I.N investing philosophy, and that is alignment. Hey guys, a lot of people contact me and want to know, where are the best resources when it comes to investing in multifamily? Where can I go? And the obvious answer is darrengarman.com. 99.9% of all of the items on the website are absolutely free. Start making that multifamily investment that you've been thinking about a great reality. Are you a good match? Are we a good match? Are we aligned in our investing outlook? Are we aligned in our investing philosophies? Are we aligned in terms of how we look at wealth? Are we aligned? And here's the interesting thing, guys, I find so many people do not have the crucial conversations about alignment. They don't. And they get involved in an investment, sometimes a multifamily investment even, and they find out, this really isn't the right kind of investment for me. This isn't what I expected. This isn't what some people would say, this isn't what I signed up for, right? Well, why is that? Alignment. Alignment. The right partners and incentives determine the outcome. What do I mean by incentives? I mean some things like we already talked about. Return, cash flow, investment philosophy, forward-looking thinking in terms of building wealth and continuing to build wealth. Okay, if we're not on the same page philosophically with this, with cash flows, returns, the kinds of properties that we're going to be purchasing, older Class C, newer Class A, locations, do we want project-based Section 8? Do we want conventional? Do we want tax credit? You see what I'm saying? We need to be aligned in almost every way. And one of the crucial conversations that I find hardly ever happens is this, hey, are we aligned here? Is this an alignment thing that we need to discuss? The answer is always, of course, yes. Making sure that you are aligned, not only in terms of where you are philosophically when it comes to wealth, but kinds of properties, kinds of returns, what kinds of cash flows, kinds of locations, not only in terms of where the property is located, but maybe you don't like the state of Iowa, where most of our apartment communities are located. Maybe you want to be in a state where that's got larger cities and a lot more happening. Or maybe you want even a more rural setting. You see what I mean? I could go on, but you get the point. Alignment is crucial. Okay, then comes the I. The I, and this probably isn't a surprise, I is for income. Income. All right, income. Reliable income is the foundation of a great multifamily community or communities. Reliable income. Okay, and by the way, you can find a lot of apartment communities to own and invest where the income's not reliable. And it's not so much maybe because of, there's a lot of vacancy, or there's a lot of issues or management problems. And we could point to and pull all kinds of levers in terms of how a property would not be able to produce a reliable stream of income. But some of them have to do with things that are out of your control, but in the control of, say, your general partner, maybe a sponsor, the management company, okay, the management staff, the management team, the maintenance team. You see, this is why I spend so much time on property management and property maintenance systems and processes. And with most operators, most owners, they think of that last. They want to get the deal done. They want to buy it at a great cap rate. They want to get it at a great location, and they want to be able to hopefully make some money at closing, all of which is exactly what everybody wants to do. But what's the last thing on their mind? Okay, now we got to figure out management. So how are we going to do that? Bad idea. Management is the foundation for a reliable stream of income, which is why I spend hours and hours and hours each and every week on this. Because I don't care if the property's in a great location. I don't care if it's in great condition. I don't care if the tenant mix is fantastic, poor. It doesn't matter. If you can't get the management and the income stream predictability right, none of that does you any Good. All right. Okay, so income. And then the last part. N, network. Network. This is huge. Again, not talked about very often. How do you think we find most of our apartment communities that we purchase? How do you think we find them? It's through network. It's through relationships. You know, in the world that we live in today, as I'm recording this, AI is all of the talk. How can we use AI to not only replace but save time? Well, one thing that you never want to be thinking about AI doing is replacing your network, your relationships. There's a reason why over 90% of all of the apartment communities that we currently own have been bought off market. Owners coming to us saying, hey guys, I think we're ready to sell. Let's have a conversation. Hey guys, we're thinking about selling in maybe 3 or 4 months. Here's 4 of our properties. Go take a look at them. Let us know what you think, and maybe we can get some business done. You see what I mean? Why does that happen? Our network. And it's not only off-market deals, it's capital. Where do we get our capital? Where do we get our financing? I mean, guys, the amount of hours that I've spent, years I've spent building those financing relationships where we get the best financing that's out there, in my opinion, is because of relationships in our network. And then that creates opportunities everywhere. It not only creates opportunities for me, but the opportunities it creates with our investors and our partners. Because it doesn't just stop with one deal or their first deal. Those relationships and that network balloon and expand into other opportunities that investors can get involved in. Whether they want to, or maybe they may want to pass, but at least having the ability to have that cross their desk, huge. Again, why? Network. Network. Okay, so guys, what I've explained to you is the T.R.A.I.N apartment multifamily investment philosophy right here. The T.R.A.I.N philosophy. And see each one of these individual parts when they work together. Do you see the power of this? I mean, if you want to be successful in the multifamily investing space, active investor, passive investor, there better be something like this involved. There better be some kind of philosophy like this involved, because it provides not only a terrific foundation of growth and expansion, great returns, good cash flow, all of those kinds of things, but it's also a terrific backstop when it comes to this word right here, risk. Risk. Okay, so let's hit them one more time. Time, T. T.R.A.I.N philosophy. T is for time. Time to build wealth over time. Wealth is built over time with apartment communities. Risk. We want to be mitigating our risk and manage our risk. We are not return chasers. Okay, multifamily investing in ownership probably isn't for you if you are simply a return chaser. Nothing wrong with that, not the wrong answer, but that is not typically what multifamily property does in terms of investing, tax savings, those kinds of things. Alignment. Are we philosophically aligned here with wealth, with the kind of properties, with where they're located, et cetera, et cetera? Is there alignment? And goodness sake, we got to have that alignment conversation, right? And there's income. Is that income foundational and reliable? Okay. Is that income foundational and reliable? And then, of course, N for the network. And we talked about how important the network is, not only for that first deal or that, maybe the first property you own or invest in, but the ballooning of being able to look at and be a part of even more as a result of that, which is the O word, opportunity. Okay, guys, I am asked about this philosophy all the time. And I gave you kind of a brief rendition of what it's all about and what we're all about and what I'm all about in terms of looking at multifamily investments in terms of moving forward, making decisions. Do we invest? Do we not? Etc. This is involved in every decision that we make. I get asked about this a lot. This is what it's about. I could have expanded on this a lot and kind of gone down the rabbit hole in a lot of these, but I think you get the idea of not only, number one, the importance of having an investment philosophy going in to a multifamily investment, but having an investment philosophy just like this. Guys, if I can answer any questions regarding the T.R.A.I.N philosophy, if there's any comments, anything that you want clarified, we'd be happy to have those kinds of conversations with you and clarify anything you think we would need to regarding the T.R.A.I.N investing philosophy. All right, take care. We'll see you. Bye-bye. If you want to get your hands on more great multifamily real estate content, make sure you click here. If you want to invest passively in great multifamily real estate, make sure you click here.